Every so often, a legend is born. It starts small, with a vision, diligence and hard work, growing step by step into legacy. Sometimes it takes generations for true greatness to reveal itself. And only in looking back does one see the great plan that is coming to fruition.
There's very many different levels that you can get involved in property, and it can be that you can be the top salesperson or the top agent doing rentals. You can be the licensee who's making significant funds and a big return on your investment, etc., and great profitability. But all the way through the chain, there's an ability for whoever we come into contact to actually to prosper, and they're prospering either directly if they're buying or selling and hopefully making money and capital gains, or indirectly just through the services that we provide. So
we can interact the same way that you can make the buyer and the seller interact while you are the agent in the background. You don't have a fear as an agent that if they communicate without you, you'll be lost in the transaction. And that's the fear I think that most people have to say, if I'm not physically part of the transaction, I might not end my commission, I might not end this, but we do it every day.
In 2002, when I started working, 2 shopping centers came up. One was developed by Mr. Senye, that is Riverwalk, and the other one was Game City. And we looked at it and said, wow, this is too much for our market. It's a very small market. We've been going to Pitjeng to do our shopping. Will the shopping centers survive? A couple of years later, Mr. Victor again, he went and developed Airport Junction. While we were still odd, he went and developed Rail Park.
What we do is we provide client-driven investment solutions for institutions and private investors. Our institutional investors are predominantly pension funds and large corporates and charities. So I'll be speaking more from the institutional perspective on the opportunities and what we're seeing in the real estate industry.
So we have the international valuation standards, which we promote globally. Not just the valuation standards, but all of the international standards that we promote globally. But we also produce our own as a professional body. I said that we're the world's only self-regulating professional body, and all of our members have to undertake work in accordance with the standards that we produce as well. So if you kind of look at the international standards as kind of the main sort of guide as to the principles and practices that you should be adhering to, the RSES almost produces like a how-to guide, how you would put that into effect. So
yeah, maybe I could actually find another flat and then, this one, because this is what we like to speak about, right? If you buy your first property, right? If you buy your first property, after a few years, it starts to pay for itself, and then you can buy another one by refinancing, and then the first property pays for the second property, and then all of a sudden you see yourself like Donald Trump or Aditya Ram, who's sitting here with me. All right? Do we have any of those guys in the room?
I feel like most people might be shy. I know as a millennial in my age, I know there's no way we can avoid it. Yeah. But if you're looking at an agent who's been doing it for the past 40 years and they're probably in their 60s, they're wondering, where do they fit in now?
It's an unheard.
And once we have analyzed this information, we disseminate it. We are just an administrative financial intelligence agency. We do not investigate. Investigation is left for the relevant authorities, law enforcement agencies.
It's about how do I enable or how do I solution products? How do I solution services?
Exactly.
So the mistake that most organizations make is that they think transition from fintech, proptech, insurtech, whatever you call it, even in governments, it is taking the physical environment onto the computer environment or computing environment.
Yeah, well, thank you. But, the way I look at it, it's like you've been given this coal and you're shining it, and there's really diamonds coming through in certain areas, but the other areas it's still coal. You've got a lot of work to do. You've got to shine. You've got to make it happen, and you're never going to get the final beautiful glossy diamond, in full. There's always going to be areas you're going to have to work on and build on and do. And that's what's great. That's what keeps us coming back day to day.